All right, see what we got going now. Okay. Let me see if I can get this on. Let's have hat. Hat is required. There we go, guys. We start broadcasting on Twitter. Remember how to do that. There we are. Go here and do this. Aha. There we go. Okay. Me. I know me. Hey, me. Go. Huh? Okay. Aha. Hi there. I'm David Markham. You are not David Markham. As Chevy Chase used to say, I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not. I'm David Markham, and you're not. We have, first of all, we have three stories. What are they? Oh, as it seems, we're testing the gear, so pay no attention to the things going on here. You could see. Okay, good. Is good. This is the roundup. That's where you go to get to the roundup. You post articles, come by every week, talk to us, and we'll talk back to you. So, three articles we got this week. This looks good. This is a Trezor Safe 5. I have many feels for that. I end up getting. So DHH posted last week about AI and coding. Said he's probably not going to use it. Um, yeah, yeah. Still use AI every day. But the problem is that the use of AI prevents you from actually enjoying programming or learning from your programming experience, which is actually both of those are really important. If you continue to use AI works better and better. You will not know how to program at all, and you will learn nothing at all. Both of which I would assume are bad things for you, whether you're a programmer or not. Um, we've talked about this on the Roundup a couple times. Programming teaches you about the world, not just about programming. So programming lets you create a artificial logic construct. In plain terms, you create this web of logical things that relate to one another based on what you're trying to solve. And it turns out quite interestingly, that the web of logical things gives you more information about the world. That has jack squat to do with whether you're programming. So if you replace programming with write code to do X or whatever, then you're no longer learning in that fashion. And you're going to lose a generation that way. So, yeah. So having said that, let me some AI finding every day more and more cool stuff to do with it. Next one is the current trends in cancer vaccination. This seems to be a way that you can take a research area and create a mind map around that topic. And I have not played with this yet. This was posted by Tim Ottinger, but it looks most incredible. I definitely want to get it. It's mapify.so. Yeah, the one I posted was reading QR codes without a computer. I love this because it's completely useless. It is completely useless, and yet it's fascinating. I'm a sucker for file formats. I'm a sucker for standards and protocols. Not necessarily learning as being possible or trying to use them as some sort of nerd badge of courage, but just, hey, why did they do it the way they did it? Why would it be that way? Would it be a different way that would work better? This is QR codes, everything you want to know, and you can actually take a QR code with your Mark 1 eyeball and figure out what's there. And that's just awesome. That is qr.blenry, BLYNRY.org. Much fun. What else we got? Yeah, NIH is far cheaper than the wrong dependency. So NIH is not invented here. I grew up with a generation of programmers that said, look, hey, everybody's trying to reinvent the wheel. If somebody's already invented the wheel, don't reinvent it. And so we were determined not to redo something that a library or framework or a function would do for us. That was wrong. It's deeply and troublingly wrong. And it took a while to really figure out why. And the reason why is that the library dependency, whatever you're using, is not necessarily solid, nor does it represent an abstraction that you actually have about what you're doing. So between those two, you really probably should limit the amount of abstractions you use outside your own code. And yeah, not inventing here is wrong. Reminder: there's an article essay on cross-checking. Cross-checking is just write it using what they call code golf as quickly as possible. Solve your problem, whatever you're doing, with as few symbols as you can. And I don't care if you keep that or not. Throw it away. That's not the point. The point is now you know that your problem may be 3 lines of code. If you're creating 300,000 lines of code, you're probably doing something wrong. But if you don't cross-check, you'll never know that way. Oh, this is the Swiss tables that John posted. What is this? Is this a Bloom filter, I wonder? And the article is How Go 1.24 Swiss tables saved hundreds of gigabytes. Take a look at this. Yeah, workload's efficient. I like this. I do not know what a Swiss table is. I guess it's not a Bloom filter. Matter of fact, let's try. What's the difference between a Swiss table and a Bloom filter? So, Grok. Wake up, Grok. What's the it's the kind of thing Grok should be really good at. The way they do Grok, and I like this a lot, is the Grok actually explains how it's thinking about your problem. And that lets you know if it went off the rails early on. And in this case, it's finding the difference. And getting there in a bit here. I think you know you've got a good question when you ask a question. It takes a while to go through. This is not one of those. Okay, Swiss table is a high performance hash table. I'll be damned. Okay. Address linear probing. Okay, so what you're trying to do is avoid the O squared problem. You managed to. Bloom filter space efficient probabilistic data structure. You can use both or neither, and they're very close to one another. Swiss table is a type of hash map, you know, key value pairs. And bloom filters exist, as I understand it, primarily to keep you from collisions. So one might use a bloom filter to prevent a collision before you add it into a Swiss table. I do not know why the Finnish people do not have tables, or the people from Netherlands or Sweden. Um, there's a whole European tables discussion here that I'm not part of. What else we got? Check real quick. I think I posted something this morning. Oh yeah, I had to post. This is so. This morning I'm reading this AI thing somewhere out there. Oh, I will point one thing out here. So I have been tracking AI drone development for about 5 years now. Ever since people told me it was a dumb idea and drones would never be a threat. And it's reached a point now where I'm seeing major defense contractors weigh in on why we might still need tanks and aircraft carriers. And I've read probably half a dozen arguments over the last month. None of them were persuasive to me. Um, that's completely wild. They may be quite useful in peacetime and not useful in a war. I don't know. But if you're looking for a good recap of how drones are currently being used, Nicholas Drummond on Twitter had a thread with all kinds of cool stuff. Um, and you can see talks about what ad hoc minefields, where like the drones are like in the field and they do nothing until somebody comes, and then all of a sudden they lift up and attack the thing. I don't see how you, yeah, yeah. This is the future. The repeated mantra is that the tank is dead. To those who seriously believe this, I ask two questions. Do you think troops would be any safer if they deployed without protected mobility? Do you think troops would be more potent if they gave up the direct fire? Um, yes, I do think they would be safer because camouflage is going to be armored protection. This is a change. It kind of went from cover and concealment. Concealment's like being hidden. Cover's like they can't shoot you. You're inside a tank, you got cover from machine gun fire. They can't hurt you. You have a bit of concealment, but they know you're in the tank. It started off that if you have a gun, you really want cover, not concealment. I think we flipped around that. Now we're back to concealment being the thing. Can't shoot what you can't find, which means that the ground forces are actually going more in the stealth mode, and then the stealth fighters are going to have to go more the pounding on your head mode. Yeah, I like tanks. Yeah, I like protect. Yeah, saying tanks are obsolete is the same as saying protected vehicles are obsolete. Yeah, kind of. I think really the question here with all of this is the cost worth the bang, right? Is the sizzle worth the steak? Steak worth the sizzle? It's not that we would never have any sort of cover or any sort of concealment for both the stealth planes and the tanks. The question is, what is the ratio of the two for each weapons platform, and really, what should you be spending on each of those? And we haven't looked at that at all. Instead, we seem to find really cool technological programs and just chase one after the other. Anything else here? Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, I got to do this one. Well, with apologies to anybody who's going to get mad, cancer screening harms more people than it saves. That is, this, I think, is one of the most profound articles I've read in a good while. Um, I picked this up a year ago when I was doing something else and read a stat that the same percentage of people die from cancer now as did 50 years ago, which I really found hard to believe. But we did all this progress on cancer. And then we see this again. This guy did a meta study. We're talking about 30 years of data, tens of thousands of people. Yeah, 50,000 individuals. So here's what here's what they are not telling you. Yes, we're making progress on individual types of cancer. No, your odds of dying from cancer about the same as it's always been. Just going to be a different kind of cancer. Um, that really sucks. Sorry to share that with you, but that's kind of where we are with that. What else do we have? Peter Thiel, good interview. And another AI. So this is the one I was looking for just now. So I'm having a hard time ascribing good intention to some of these AI hype people. But this is, once again, I read this is the same line. It's like it's people bowdlerize what the concept is. They overgeneralize, and then they either praise it or attack it. And it just neither one of those responses is probably accurate. Here we talk about microcontrollers and abstractions. Once again, I read that microcontrollers are not designed to tolerate expensive abstraction. Let me remind you that $2 microcontroller from 2025 would kick the crap out of a 486 desktop CPU. Uh, so, yeah, so I'm okay. Hey, computers have gotten better. Life is good. I love life. But then we get down to the end and say, it's up to you if you decide to defend the old values and deny modern software development approach or accept the things that are under constant change and adapt, damn it. You can almost hear the breathlessness that are going on. Yes, computers have gotten faster. Yes, old people like me suck. No, that's really got nothing to do with anything. Question is when to use abstractions, and if you know when to use them, who the hell cares what kind of gear runs them? So he's having a discussion with himself about best practices for microcontrollers, and I have no dog in this fight. And I would additionally say that he should probably go learn about abstractions and less about microcontrollers. All right, so let me shut this thing down. Thank you very much for dropping by. I'll go back on the live page here. Somebody, I have the power. Here somewhere. Oh, there you are. Yes. And sign off. Thanks, guys.